Wow, it's finally, I can't believe it. Hey guys, welcome to the very first episode of Two Fans in a Pod with your co-host, myself, Sour Guy. And
myself.
How you doing, my bro? How's it going? How you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Just preparing for the week. Watching a bit of football news and football as well. See Man United lose, which is
don't remind me of that one.
Yeah. It's always good to me, but unfortunately Spurs won, so a bit
It's a roundabout.
Yeah, it's a roundabout. I'm a bit up and down this weekend, but yeah.
That's good. Yeah, on today's show, we'll be discussing the winners and losers of the summer transfer window, reviewing the first weekend of the new Premier League season, as well as giving our predictions for the rest of the season, 22-23. But before we get into all that, let's welcome our very first Two Fans in a Pod guest, none other than Joe Danso, founder of Ghana Football Academy, VIM SC. Welcome to Two Fans in a Pod. How you doing, bro?
All good. Thank you for having me on. And I guess I done well there as the first guest. I kept quiet. I let you guys do your jingle, have your little pod interaction. So I've listened, watched enough podcasts to know that as a guest, shut up and come on when introduced. So no, but all jokes aside, great honor to be on, guys. I already know this pod is going to be great. I can't wait to listen to all the subsequent episodes that are going to come out. I think Ozzy and you got one of the brightest young journalists. So, it's a pleasure for me to be here and to be, I guess, at the beginning of this journey. So I can put that in my LinkedIn, first.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Well. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks so much. And appreciate all the kind words. Yeah. It's a pleasure to have you as our first guest as well. And ready to get the ball rolling, as I say. What have you been up to? What have you been doing? What have you been up to this year? Yeah. How's this year been? What have you been up to this year?
We are already in August.
Crazy. Easy.
Yeah, it's gone quick. I can't believe we're in August. There's been many obstacles, but some key highlights, which I'm going to get on to speak about in a moment. But one of them being is currently I have two of my players from my academy who graduated this May, who have in Ghana, who are now in Europe, in Denmark on trial, fighting and battling to get their first professional contract. And actually, I'm waiting on some news. I keep checking my phone. We have our third graduate who's been offered a full scholarship to go and study and play in the US. So, my year has been with working in football and having three boys from my academy graduate and explore opportunities outside of Ghana. It's a major highlight so far.
For sure. And congrats. Big and it's a testament to yourself for your teacher for giving them the encouragement, encouraging these guys to really show that there's no limits to what you can achieve and where you can go.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Yeah. That leads me on to the academy. Because when I first heard about this, I thought this is something unique. This is something kind of different that I haven't really come across before. We don't really shine a light on African talent and talent in, I guess we focus too much on Europe and European kind of almost white-centric talent. To see someone from Africa that is succeeding in such a way, that is the local talent and developing people, local people in such a way to a global audience is amazing. Where did this all come about? What's the inspiration behind VIM SC? Where did it all come about? How did it start?
Oh, that's a very good question, actually. I think to say what inspired it, I would say my life, my journey. So to give you a bit of an introduction and some background into who I am, and I guess it will make sense once I start speaking about Vim. So I am one of three brothers, and as you can imagine, young black boys growing up in Europe. Football was all we've known. So I myself played at a decent level, in academy level. I played at Peterborough, QPR. Unfortunately, I didn't quite make it, which is fine. I've gotten over it. In many ways, I'm actually glad I didn't make it, and I'll tell you why. Because I've gone on to do things that are so much more impactful than maybe just running around after football for 90 minutes and then losing your head when you don't win. I've managed to coach and mentor my own younger brother, Kevin Danso, who's currently an Austrian international and playing for RC Lens, or Lens, as we would say here in England, in the French Ligue 1. Countless other boys. So I grew up in Milton Keynes, a real hotbed for talent. It's not just South London. Anyone that listens to this podcast, that's an agent or that's involved in football, I'd urge them to come down to Milton Keynes. You really see there's so much talent, from Brendan Galloway, Jeffrey Schlupp, Dele Alli, Ben Chilwell, Brandon Thomas Asante. The list literally goes on. Can I big shout out to Leah Williamson?
Yeah, of course.
Heroes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's huge talent in
That's
them.
one. Yeah.
So what was I? So as I was saying, so I've always coached, and being Ghanaian, so both of my parents are from Ghana. You'd always hear your mum on the phone to someone, because my mum, I'm sure she speaks to her friend that, hey, my sons, they play football, blah, blah, blah. I've always heard cousins, aunties, friends from back home in Ghana saying, hey, we've really got a talented player here. Can you guys help him? So I'm like, sure, okay, let's see. And lo and behold, you quickly find out that, your auntie or your uncle somewhere will introduce someone. I'm like, okay, how old is he? 27 going on 42, still trying to make it. In football, either here in England or somewhere in Europe. And it's funny, but at a point it became frustrating. And I'm like, come on, man, you guys, don't you get it? I knew at 17, 18, when I didn't get my pro contract, that you know what, it's gonna be a hard route now. You might have to explore other avenues. So I went on to university, studied psychology, done my coaching badges, and realized that at 18, if you're not elite, chances are you're not gonna make it. And so, but unfortunately, back home, it's quite common that you find a 27-year-old with a kid, a wife, still trying to make it into professional football, because such as the hunger and the desire to wanting to emulate, the heroes, like the Ian Wrights, the Raheem Sterlings, that at 27 they still believe they can do so. Unfortunately, you and I know, and we're all laughing, that it's not going to happen. So it was always, so now fast forward now, Kevin turns pro, signs a contract with Puma. We realized that he's mentoring other younger kids. My older brother and I, who represent Kevin in terms of the agency side, in particular my older brother, Emmanuel Danso. We realized that maybe there's a duty, a care that we have to, because we were quite fortunate, our parents migrated to Austria. We had the chance to pursue a career in football. The story could have been different. So with that in mind, we always thought we had a duty to do something. We thought, once Kevin retires, maybe we might pump some money into, a football team or an academy, as quote unquote, as you and I know it, back in Ghana. But then 2019, year of return, I don't know if you guys all were around. I was in Ghana, and really and truly, just not just Ghana, but Africa in general, us, the young sort of second generation or whatever you may call it, immigrants, everyone going back, the vibrancy, you really fell in love with yourself and who you are, what you bring to the table. You know, seeing the likes of Reggie Yates out there, Idris Elba, Memphis Depay, and you know the emergence of Afrobeats and sort of African culture within fashion and whatnot. It really spurred us on to say, hey, let's seize this opportunity. Let's grab this moment. What field are we experts in? You know, football is all we know. Let's see if we can do something. But we like, look, let's just, the retirement plan we had, why wait till we retire? You know, nothing is guaranteed. So with that, along with a good friend of my brother's, Samuel Bwedu, so that there's 3 of us, we thought, you know what, why not? Let's just start an academy, more so just as an opportunity to give back to, I would say, a 14-year-old Joe, a 15-year-old Joe, to give back to that person. And then we started in the middle of COVID lockdown 2020, and we've been going for the past 2 years. So yeah, that was just a quick introduction into VIM Sporting.
No, wow,
Just a quick one on the name, because everyone's like, you know, VIM or Vision Emotion, which it has now become. So popular in Ghanaian football lingo. You know how in England, have, come on, let's go, lads, all get stuck in. In Ghana, the word that is used for, you know, to dare, to have a bit of hunger, to keep giving is, you know, more vim. So, and we actually realized that that's an old English word that we adopted from our illustrious slave owners. I hope this doesn't go anywhere. But we just like, it's an old English word that we adopted. It literally means to move forward with vigor and enthusiasm. So we thought, what a great word that, you know, encapsulates what we're trying to do, trying to move forward to chase a vision with, you know, with vigor and enthusiasm. So that's why the name Vim.
Yeah. Amazing. It's such an inspirational story as well, given the context.
100%. Yeah.
And that, because you just basically just answered our next question, was your US and what makes you stand out, your authenticness, what makes you more authentic. The fact that you do things with Vim, that you're doing it with Vim, that you're there's an energy. There's an energy within the group.
And that energy, by the way, that energy doesn't come from us. Again, a shameless plug. I'd encourage all your listeners, you know, the millions of listeners that are out there, you know, if you listen to this in the morning, in the evening, late at night, I'd encourage you on your travel destination bucket list, add Ghana to it. And no matter what you do, you're going to find some sort of energy to do whatever you do more, whether it's, you know, you're an entrepreneur, you're a dancer, especially the creatives. Once you go to Ghana, you know, your creative juices will be flowing because there's a real buzz and an energy in the motherland.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've heard it here, guys. I've heard as well. I keep saying, come to Ghana. You know, there's so much going on in Ghana. It's busting. It's a busting country.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to go back to your question, Ozzy, what is our USP, or why are we different? I would say we aren't actually different. On foot, that there's, in fact, once we entered the market, starting to do football in Ghana, we realized that there are a lot of people like us actually interested in football, trying to do football. It's just, unfortunately, one of the things we quickly found out is that structures don't exist. So you have that one older, the older, as you and I would know it, if you're from London, and older is just basically an older kid in the community, or their uncle. Literally, you go to, there's an area in Ghana called Tema. In that neighborhood, every Saturday, he will go and grab the field with his one football. He will come, 30 kids will turn up, and they will start playing. yeah, he will know some of them, but he won't know all 30 kids.
Yeah.
And so then that's their team. So they might, all right, out of those 30 kids, he might pick the best 11, 14, go to the other neighborhood and just play a match. And to them, it's just about bragging rights. And in essence, that's exactly what it is. That's an academy. You've got a catchment area there. Boom, you play against each other. And then there's of course all the different divisions that are playing Ghana, the Ghana Premiership.
Yeah.
It's okay. The top goal scorer actually just got a transfer. He's a Cameroonian. He just got a transfer to Udinese in Serie A. Yeah, in Italy.
Oh wow, it's a big move.
Oh.
So things are happening. And the bigger story, which people don't even realize. So in Denmark, there's a club called FC Nordsjælland.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. Now,
what's it called?
Again,
what's the team called?
Nordsjælland, or I hope I've done some justice. But if you look into it now, if you look into it, so that is owned or is in partnership with Right to Dream. Now, arguably, Right to Dream is the biggest academy in all of Africa. And so Right to Dream was started, back in the 90s or late 80s by an Englishman, from just, taking a year out, going to Ghana to go do some coaching. This concept of what I'm talking about, going into a neighborhood, realizing that there's so much talent here, just putting some structure to it, managed to set up an academy that's been running for the past 20 years, has managed to move on players, transferred so many players, so much so that he's gathered enough funds and come together as a consortium to buy FC Nordsjælland. So if you go look at Nordsjælland right now, every year they have, 3 or 5 young Ghanaians, or Africans now for that matter, Ivorians, Senegalese playing in that league. So VIM is not the first, that there's others. And in fact, the thing I would say our USP is we're trying to champion that. We're trying to say, hey, why not come together? Right to Dream is doing great work in one corner of Ghana. You've got WAFA, which used to be under the Ajax umbrella, and West African Academy. They've got great links to Salzburg and, the RB, the Red Bull franchise.
Yeah.
Fantastic in another corner. You've got us. Why not come together, and form this, African or West African Academy network? And currently I've got a group chat on my phone where we've got the various owners of different academies coming together to add more structure to it, because the teams already exist. The players are already there. The talent is in abundance. It's just adding that structure to it to make sure that it's enough of a of a league or of a structure so that people can see it. Because I look at the Premier League as an example. The Premier League is just all the clubs coming together and saying, hey, we're going to create a brand of football that's going to be the most attractive, and then advertise it and sell it to the rest of the world. So that is the long-term vision of what we're trying to do. It's not just about us. It's about the other academies.
To ask a question here. So in terms of the how difficult is it to acquire funding for your academy? How difficult is it? How challenging is it? And has there been any obstacles for you to acquire funding to support your academy? Has there been any challenges whatsoever? Any issues?
It's a good question that you asked, Eric. Has there been any issues? I don't see them as issues as such. I think it's just a challenge, and it's just a challenge of maybe doing anything in a developing country. The structures and the infrastructure isn't just there, as we see it. So I ask you, for example, your local Sunday league club, How do they get their funding? It's just from, people that are passionate about it, put in some money in. So that's what we've been doing. We're currently self-funded. We all put some money in each month. Yeah, and we're fortunate, really fortunate that I earn pound sterling. When you convert that into Ghanaian cities, even £20 goes a long way. I'm fortunate that I can go to Sports Direct Decathlon when there's a sale and just pick up some kit, some footballs, send that back home. It goes a long way. They cherish those things. So in terms of funding, we are self-funded, but as we've started, there's been some amazing companies, amazing football clubs. Big shout outs to Kevin Danso, who's an ambassador of the VIM Academy, and through him, we've managed to secure quite a bit of kit through Puma, and so Puma, synonymous in Africa, and they are providing us with kit, footballs and whatnot. And Versus is another partner of ours who sponsored our first showcase academy back in February. Yeah, it was back in February this year, actually. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So yeah. So the funding element, is a challenge. So if any sponsors are listening to this podcast and you want to sponsor not just VIM, but you just want to give back to a developing country so that football, the beautiful game that we all enjoy, can be enjoyed by millions of others, please do.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. To ask another question. Sorry, Azazi. I just want to ask. As a founder, as a CEO of the company, is there any inspiration that you take from other CEOs that's in a similar position, where you're basically self-funding a company and trying to kind of develop young talent? Like, is there anybody out there in the same who was in the same position that you were in now? Is there any inspiration that you take from them that you apply it to your academy? If that helps, if that answers your question, it's a good question to ask.
Yeah, it is. Is there one name that pops to mind? How everyone looks at, also Elon Musk, for example, or I don't know, Bill Gates. No, I would. Sometimes those figures are a bit too. I've never seen them. They're just a bit too far to reach.
Yeah.
What I would say, since starting, it's the people I look up to the most, and I realize that what a great thing they've done is those, elders in the community, those uncles, those, there's always that one guy wherever you grew up in South London, if you grew up in Milton Keynes. One of my mentors in life is Edwin Steen. And Edwin, he's a similar, again, retired professional football player. Played football back in the day when was getting racist abuse, bananas thrown at him. So even Ed just came into Milton Keynes. Said, hey, all you boys that trying to be bad, not on my watch. Here we're gonna train 3 times a week, using football just as an avenue to create impact and change in the community. So I would say in Ghana, there's a bunch of those guys that we work with. Now we've made them scouts, and I really and truly look up to those guys, because some of them, not with little resources, are so well respected in the community. And some of these communities, they are tough. You might think North London is bad, or certain areas. There's some bad areas in Ghana that you wouldn't want to move. These are the pillars, when they come and the boys hear them, so hats off to those guys. They're doing a great job. But yeah, I'd say I draw a lot of inspiration from those guys.
That's good. Yeah, amazing. Yeah. That's all good, Joe. Yeah. What would you say? How's your early aspirations? What did you want to be when you were a lot younger, and how's that changed over the time years?
Yeah, it's good. So, first thing I wanted to do, just wanted to be a baller. I just wanted to play football. Just from a desire to be okay. Can I be the best in my neighborhood? Can I be the best in my school? Can I be the best in my city, my age? Can I be the best in my position? So yeah, it was football. I mean, I blame my dad. I have those early memories of like coming home from school, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna watch this cartoon, and no, dad comes. Listen, I bought this TV, and he's rewatching like an old Champions League game. I'm sat there thinking, you know the scores of this game. Why are we all watching Tony Yeboah, for example? I'm thinking, but eventually, as a 5-6-year-old, I loved it. I'm like, I remember Andy Cole and Dwight York, just seeing people that looked like me, just absolutely tearing it up. The dummy, and then the finishing. Bex with his collar up. And I guess I've given it away. That explains why I'm a United fan. And in misery. Our United team, I remember that, when we won that Champions League. I should have been in bed, but I stayed up, watched it. It was, absolutely amazing. So my early memories of growing up are associated with football. So I always wanted to be a football player. But when that didn't happen, journalism at some point. But then I realized that I don't like writing long essays, and I quickly gave up that journalism dream. But I always knew I wanted to do something along the lines of football. So I'm glad, and it will always, to me, remain a hobby. When I'm doing football, I have my 9 to 5. Which I love as well. But doing football will always be, no matter, even if it becomes a full-time job, which sometimes it is, having a brother that plays professionally, it can be sometimes, it's a full-time job and you need to just take a step back and say, hey, let's just talk about something else,
Yeah.
Sure. Really into tennis at the moment.
Switch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you answered your question, by the way. I know I waffled on there a bit.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. It's cool. It's your time. Yeah.
I mean, what position did you play when you were younger? What position were you?
What position did I play? So started off, as you just read, so in Austria. As a number 7, as a winger.
Okay. You must have been quick then.
I was just faster than everyone. Not even, I wasn't fast, I was just faster. I was playing with. Then I realized then I was good. And weirdly, I never understood this. All my friends growing up were 2, 3, 4 years older than me. I guess I blame it on my older brother, because my older brother is 6 years older than me. So I'd hang around with his friends and just naturally. So I started playing with the older kids. And then when I was playing the older kids, at some point I was playing 4 years up. And I became a bit of a, centre midfielder because, I could get on the ball. I had to. And so, I was a midfielder for a large parts of my youth career. And then lastly, at Peterborough, at scholarship level, I'd either play defensive midfield or as a right back. Yeah.
Oh, nice. See.
It's a shame that right backs are now, full backs are now going for, 50+ million, 60 million. Had I known, maybe I wouldn't have given up the dream, because I thought I hated playing that fullback. I thought, because to me, the players that play that fullback are the ones that, you're not good enough to play anywhere else. steady.
Yeah, it's like you're putting in.
Pick him out on the right. Or you were a failed winger. But now, with the how football's evolved, you can really see how the fullback position is such a vital position in any team.
For sure. Look at Arnold, how important Arnold is to Liverpool. He comes into midfield, he makes 50-yard pass. Yeah. That's important.
And he's like a winger. He's pretty much a winger almost, with the way he plays. Attacking wise.
I would say Arnold is a playmaker playing at right back.
Yeah.
Look at his vision. The vision for the defender. What right back has that vision? It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Cancelo as well. Cancelo, another one. Cancelo as well.
Yeah.
Cancelo.
He's in my fantasy team. Picked up the yellow card today. I'm not too happy about that, but yeah. But even prior to this,
in that same level.
Yeah, prior to those guys, the likes of Dani Alves, Philip Lahm. Kimmich.
Kimmich, yeah. For sure. Kimmich was amazing. Oh, yeah, definitely. There's been a few selects, over the years. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Brings on to my next question about you're saying about switching off, how you talk about football, you're always surrounded by football. It's like, how do you switch off? What do you like to do in your spare time when you're not working or even talking or watching or doing anything football orientated? What do you do?
Yeah, so
what's your lifestyle?
It's sports related. I'm trying to get into tennis. I love watching tennis. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, the Williams sisters, Serena. I mean, real powerhouse. And it's that because I think it's that elite mentality. I love documentaries. I'm watching about people that have high performance personalities. I won't plug that podcast on here, but there's a podcast out there called High Performance.
I've heard of it. Jake, I've heard of it. Yeah,
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Seen bits of that. Yeah,
there is. Yeah, just really documentaries, interviews, podcasts. Yeah, I love watching good old a crime documentary. Then I get scared. I make sure all my doors are locked because I don't want no weirdos inside my place. Yeah, I want that. Going out, socializing with friends.
Yeah,
the normal stuff.
Sure. Oh, nice. That's good. And traveling, you like to travel a lot?
Yeah, where possible. Obviously, we just spending 2 years in lockdown. Yeah, and now I had to renew my passport in between then. So yeah, definitely traveling is on the bucket list. Need to go see more places because I love the different cultures and the foods. So yeah, 100%. Yeah, I need to travel more.
Yeah,
for sure. Have you ever been to Nigeria before?
I said Nigeria, the Super Eagles, the country that Ghana beat in the World Cup playoffs.
Bring it up again.
Okay. the country with the second best jollof in West Africa. Is that?
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. The Reds now we're just talking about before we got on as well. Jollof rice. It's a debate. It's a debate that stands for years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
No, so
but Senegal will say this is original. So
I haven't been. So next Aussie, you guys can take me.
That's on your bucket list.
Yeah.
You
can take me and show me around Nigeria. Would love to go.
For sure.
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I haven't been back there in almost 20 years now, so I don't know how it really is.
I'm the same. I'm the same. So when you were really kind of like, in a way, babies in our country, in the motherland as well. So it's like me, it's been 25 years. So that's how I can show you around. But limited.
And who knows? Maybe through this podcast and just connecting through sports, because again, that's another thing. We talked about languages and cultures and traveling. Wherever you go, sports fans speak the same language. You know,
Absolutely.
everyone has rivalries.
That's it.
So I remember we were in Portugal, and you know we met
exactly.
a Sporting Lisbon fan. I was like, oh, hey, Porto. They, like literally, it was like, listen, that's a forbidden word around here. If you say that, I will let you serve you at this restaurant. You could go to another restaurant, and it was just so funny how they're so passionate about their teams and their rivalries. So yeah, definitely, you know, you guys will use sports to travel and meet other people from different cultures.
Yeah,
for sure. Because it's a global thing. It's really global. As you said, every continent, every community speaks the sports language, the language of sports.
exactly. Yeah.
You see what I've done there? Sorry, Rex, not to cut you, but we tried to get away from sports. I somehow managed to bring it back to sports, didn't I?
By all means, by all means, by all means.
No, but Rex, go ahead. What was the question?
Yeah. So to ask you, have you ever come across people who kind of gave you like a bigotry of low expectations in a certain way, where you kind of come across a lot of people who are very condescending, who didn't expect much from you, or you kind of like gave you those standards as a starting academy?
Oh wow, Rex, we're gonna go there now.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's a brilliant question, and I wish more of us could really speak candidly about our experiences. I really wish sometimes we would find the words to really articulate how we feel in those moments. Because I recently, not to plug another podcast, but I don't know if you guys saw when Marcus Rashford and Daniel Kaluuya were in the barbershop with LeBron James.
I've seen that.
The abuse that he received, you know, when he missed the penalty. And you could see that as a young man, which Rashford is, despite all his good stuff, he hadn't really reflected and really thought deeply enough about the experience that he went through. And he just thought, he just tried to pass it off as, well, Bex received death threats. They just want to win, you know. And sometimes we do it, you know. At the age of 28, things happen to me, and sometimes I'm like, did that just really happen? Or then you almost try to explain it away, be like, oh no, that person just having a bad day, blah blah blah. But no, the underlying message is because that person somewhere, consciously or subconsciously, thinks I'm inferior, or the product I am bringing to them, or how we are is inferior. So, perfect example is, as I said, I have 2 players currently in Denmark on trial. They've gone to various clubs. But, you know, we spoke to a few scouts. We actually had 2 scouts, or one sports director and a scout from a big European club come to our tournament. They're like, you know, Africa is great, you know, African football, talented. But the thing you guys don't have, you don't know anything about tactics. Which, you know, that statement in itself is, okay. It's true to a certain extent. It's the same way you take an Italian scout to France, or you bring him here to England. They're like, well, great game, high intensity, but it's not tactical enough. You know, and they'll be giving it all their typical Italian hands. But that made me realize that, okay, but you point out the obvious here. We're not. I thought you're missing the point. If you're saying we're not tactical enough, that's not the point here. Because in fact, we're not tactical enough not because we're not clever, or our players aren't clever or tactically astute. I mean, you can see Thomas Partey, you know, Koulibaly, Mane. Are you trying to tell me those players are not tactical? So we are Salah.
Mm.
What they are missing and what they don't see is that we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the resources to maybe play football the tactical way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Or I think it's in Brazil. You know, I won't say you go and watch a Brazilian under 17 game. I don't think you're going to see a tactical game. You're going to see a lot of flares, flicks, and tricks. But they just appreciate you. Just appreciate that for what it is.
Yeah.
A lot of the obstacles that we've come across is, you know, you present players to people like, oh, great player, great energy, great athleticism, but he's not tactical enough. Typical African. Like, what are you trying to say? Appreciate him for what he is. You know, I in my academy, there's a 17-year-old. I'm telling you, no 17-year-old in Holland, in Denmark, in Belgium, he just has a joy of just winning the ball back, running around in midfield, letting you know that no, this is my house. Yeah, give me the ball. Plays it simple, and that's just so. And that comes about from just where he's brought up and what we appreciate in our football. So they try and talk down upon us from the football aspect that, oh, you guys aren't tactical enough. But guess what? When we meet on the international stage, when either Ghana, Nigeria, you know, our brothers Senegal and stuff come up against some of these countries, we give them a good game. You know, one of the games that I really fell in love with Ghana played was when we beat USA in the 2010 World Cup. We drew against Germany, who went on to win the tournament. You know, we should have won that game if Jordan Ayew just squared it. But again, so they try to talk down on us about, you know, our game isn't tactical enough. You know, players are way. So yeah, those are some of the obstacles we face.
Sorry.
Just in closing, Rex, they also don't like, you know, I always speak with a certain confidence and a boldness. You know, I know there's Pep Guardiola, there's Klopp, but I think in my own right, I'm one of the best coaches to ever coach. It sounds ludicrous, it sounds stupid, because maybe I haven't got the credentials to back it up. But I'm telling you, you give me a 10-year-old or 11-year-old with just raw athleticism, I can turn that player, I can turn that person, you know, both male or female, into a fantastic player. Because, you know, I know how to coach. I know how, you know, one of the things I tell people is don't talk in football. You can communicate with the way you pass the ball. If you want me to turn out and go the other way, you better play to my strong foot with enough movement on the ball to say, hey, turn it out. If you want me to maybe slow down the game, it's a slower pass. So you can communicate from just the way you pass the ball.
Yeah.
There's sometimes they don't like that. They think, oh, just because you've got the fancy title of head of recruitment for FC, whatnot. Yeah. So I always tell them, listen, I know a player when I see one. If not anything, you know, Kevin arguably is one of the best centre backs under 23 centre backs there is, you know. So yeah. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about that. It can rub me the wrong way, but hey, as I say, you know, we move on. We won't let that hold us back. It's about moving on with Vim, you know, with Vic and enthusiasm.
For sure. Always.
That actually, considering that we don't have much black managers in the top leagues, I think in the Premier League, I think there's only been 2. Currently, Patrick Vieira, and then the last one was Chris Hughton, who's half Ghanaian, funny enough. Do you think, like, because when Vieira started, there was kind of like a similar thing with him, like a bigotry of low standards,
undertones, and
yeah. And a lot of it wasn't intentional. A lot of it was subconscious. It seems like, and so do you take inspiration with what he's done with Crystal Palace? And do you feel like your academy will eventually kind of branch into developing of managers eventually? If
Rex, that's you guys, man, asking all the good questions.
Great question.
Yeah, and like so many. That's what I'm saying. Football is it's not just like, even though it's just a game. It's so many other aspects within society.
Yeah.
First and foremost, our academy exists just to raise young leaders. Put football to one side. I know that out of the 40 boys in my academy currently, not all of them, or maybe none of them, will reach it to the very top. I mean, I know they will, because I'm the football director, and I'll make sure that will happen. But what's really important is that we raise leaders. Let your yes be your yes, your no be your no. Stand for certain ethics. So that's 100%. I think we're going to raise young leaders that are going to go on to do fantastic things in a number of different fields. No doubt about it. The second part of your question is Patrick Vieira and what he's doing for Crystal Palace. I was telling Ozzy when he invited me to come up, my second team is Crystal Palace for that very reason.
Right.
Because I feel it's the Mandem, it's Mandem FC. I can identify myself with the manager. I can identify myself with the players. And I love Crystal Palace because whether they've done it consciously or subconsciously, I don't care. I just love what they represent and what they're currently doing. And it's only right. I mean, I think that the generation prior to Vieira, they weren't given the opportunity. There was a glass ceiling. As I mentioned, Edwin Steen, he was a manager at Barnet. He was the manager at Birmingham City. But he, great coach, but some of you probably never heard of him. So there's others. So I think now the likes of, for example, like, I was in the same academy as Raheem Sterling. And to see the boy that Raheem was, to see the man that he's become, and to eloquently speak out about the injustice in reporting in the media of a black player and his white counterpart. I think Raheem might go on to maybe be the head of the the PFA, for example, the Players Association, or be a manager. I think it's on us. It's on them to really break those barriers and be in positions of influence. I don't think it doesn't just stop at managers. I think it also, even with us, for example, ownership. We need more black sports directors. We need more black CEOs. We need more black, at the board level of football clubs. Because once they're there, they can also influence on who they pick to be in a position, as the manager. So, the likes of, is it Les Ferdinand?
Mark
at Crystal Palace. We need more of those guys. And we need them. So those guys need to be coming on podcasts like this. That's my hope, that, because that's what I'm saying. When they're too far to reach, we lose that. There's that disconnect. That's what I love about what Ian Wright is currently doing on his own. I believe he has his own broadcast platforms and whatnot. He's reaching out to the Mandem, as it were, for lack of a better word. And I'm telling you, there's so many. I have an array or a wide network of young coaches coming up. There's a club, another shameless plug. There's a club called Levels FC in London. One of my boys I played football with at university, Gabriel Obeng. And so they're all, the whole academy set up. They're like a Sunday league team / academy.
Oh, okay.
They're all black coaches. 80% of their players are black. They go around playing against other academies.
Right.
And all their boys are being picked up. You know, Arsenal are taking their players. Chelsea are taking their players. I believe come next week, they're going to be playing against Man City. And so, and those guys, once these football clubs recognize people like Gabs, give them jobs, give them opportunities. So, yeah, I think our generation, I know we have I keep going back to it, we have a certain vim about us. But, we're going to break down those doors, whether they like it or not.
Yes, sir.
So, yeah.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Definitely. Yeah.
So I take it from that answer. Do you think part of the issue is sometimes the lack of platform, which wasn't there in the past, but now that we live in a more digital age, would you say that it's improved because you know the access is there and the platforms are now there for a good black manager to be recognized or a good black scout to be recognized? Is that fair? Is that
it's a fair assessment? You know, where there isn't a platform, we are creating that platform. Where there is a platform, we're breaking down those barriers. And yeah, man, you know, hats off to Patrick Vieira. I hope that they do really well, because again, this, other than Crystal Palace being in a particular league position, there's a wider agenda there. I feel, you know, he's doing it for all of us. So yeah, I'm saying, well,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's right. And I wish, I'm wishing the best. I hope they do really well this season, Crystal Palace. I'm sure they will. Yeah, and if we go back to yourself, Joe, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years time, and VIM SC, where do you see yourself and the academy in 5 years?
So, well, at the start of 2020, we made a 5-year plan. So we'd like to see ourselves. So let me just give you the immediate features. So next year, we're planning on putting a team together of under 16. Under 16s. To travel to Sweden. There's a tournament called the Gothia Cup to take part in that. So really, again, where that representation, they're going to be black manager, black director of sports, bunch of black African Ghanaians going to Sweden, batting up the tournament, hopefully winning it. And that should just kind of like that. Hey, we've got the talent. So we're gathering the funds, the paperwork and everything. So a year from now to go out there and do that. 5 years, we hope that we'll have more of our graduates playing, you know, in various leagues in Europe. And so you said 5 years, but in 7 years time, so already 2 years down, so in another 5 years, we want one of the VIM graduates to represent the Ghana Black Stars. So hopefully in 5 years time, when you see the Ghana Black Stars line up, or that when the squad comes out, I'll be able to point at maybe one of the players and say, hey, he started his journey in my academy, or in the academy that I was a co-founder of. That'll be absolutely amazing. And from a personal perspective, keep developing. You know, I'm enrolling onto various coaching courses. I'm hoping to get my UEFA Pro license done. And just maybe doing more podcasts. And I've actually enjoyed this. You know, as I'm rambling on, I've got a real passion for it. It's ignited something within me. So yeah, maybe do more speaking engagements, telling people, you know, they should stick their tactics somewhere else. We come with the flair that has on the Afro beats, that type of energy. Yeah. So yeah, in a roundabout way, I hope I've answered the question.
Yeah, you did. No, you did. You say you've got too deep of anything. You've got 7 years down. Leading on to my next question, that's amazing. It might be hard for you because you've had so many inspirations throughout your career. Who would you, one person would you thank? Would you like to thank for where you are today? Who would that be down to?
I think huge thank you to my family. So that being my mum. I think she's a real determined person. I think that's where we all get our determination from. Yeah, she just, despite all the obstacles she had in her life, you would never even notice it. So big shout outs to my mum, my two brothers in Manny and Kevin. Even though we compete all the time, I think that those guys keep me focused and grounded. I'll tell you, like my football community, and that's been from my friends, my best mate Cozzy, who's a professional football player. Everyone that I think half the people in my address book, for instance, I met through football. Even the people I met at uni, it's because we were playing football. Like, oh, what course are you on? Okay, so that I'd say my footballing network.
Amazing, love that. Yeah, love it. And then I guess the final question would be: any entrepreneurs or people who want to pursue and developing sports professionals, more people that have hesitations, what would you tell them?
Just do it. Go for it. Not just sorry, Nike, if you guys are listening, I didn't mean to. Just your tagline. Really and truly, go for it. Start. There's that famous quote. One of the GOATs, 23, Michael Jordan said it. It's no one ever's gonna speak about all the shots that he missed. Or you miss every shot that you don't take, which is a typical sports analogy. So start, do something. Really, too many times we talk about, and Ozzy, I'm incredibly proud of you, because I think when we first met, one of the things we connected over was, your love for sports, your journalism stuff. I think this has been in a making for some time. You've done it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'll tell everyone. Just go do it. Really, what are you waiting for? Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry to ask. Sorry, Ozzy. Just to ask one final question for myself.
Yeah.
As a founder and CEO, if there's a frustration that you have with something that's just come up, where you kind of talked about with the whole, that, oh, you're not tactical enough, or stuff like that. How is it more? Would you say it's more important to kind of block it out because that it's just negativity, or would you say it's more important to reflect on it and learn from it and know when to kind of operate from there once you've been through that situation?
It's a balance. It's a fine line, and I'm still on that journey of learning it. So I think you should never just block it out, because there's really and truly there's some truth in what they're saying.
Okay.
That it can be. I watch Ghana sometimes, and I'm like, from a tactics perspective, that was an awful game. Yeah, but I don't mean we're bad. That's kind of there's no really a negative. So okay, and one of the things that I learned, and you must have heard it on the podcast, is own your narrative. Own that. Tell that story in a way that, okay, we're tactically different. We might not be tactically bad, okay, but let's develop it. Let's bring elements of it into it. So that's on the tactics front. So I would say never any critique or negatives. Don't totally block it out. Take bits from it and use it to make yourself better. I would say, really understand, study yourself, study the market you're in, study people, know what people respond to.
Right.
one of the things, it was quite easy for us to come, you know, with our Western tinted glasses on to go to Ghana and things and say, oh, you're not doing this right. This what you're doing is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. You should be done like this. No, there's actually so much rich heritage and culture.
Yeah.
In the way they operate in Ghana. It was to learn from that, saying, okay, we're going to take all the good bits, the bits that work, refine it, and really create something else and really make it. And one of the things, and just quickly in closing, because even though it seems insignificant, it's such a win for me. You know, so as you know, I'm the founder, I'm the CEO.
Yeah.
These scouts, I try to go to Ghana, you know, once a quarter, so once every 3 months. So I go and scout. So I hear of a boy, you know, my coach said, hey, Joe, you know, baller, he's got everything we need. So I've defined what talent looks like, which maybe I can go into another. I mean, I'll be here all day. In another episode, I can talk about the VIM ATIP model, which is how to identify talent. And I think African talent looks a specific way, and I can go into the details of that. But anyway, back to my story. So a typical 15-year-old Ghanaian, knowing that, oh snap, the boss is coming. What do? You just joined my academy, the boss is coming. I've heard about this boy, you know, Richard Opong, his name is, left-footed, you know, great. I think I'm excited to come see this guy. I turn up in camp. Where's this Richard guy? Oh, boss, he's coming. Okay. And they're all, by the way, they're all called me boss for some weird reason. So I'm like, okay. I've tried to change that. It's not shifted. So I'm like, whatever, guys. Not really fussed with titles and names, you know. So I'm like, where's Richard? Where's Richard? So first day I got there, Richard saw me, head down. Hi, I'm Richard. Richard, how are you? I'm fine, thank you, please. There's the fine, thank you, please. Were the only things Richard could say, because he sees that as a person of authority, as someone that owns the academy, as someone that doesn't live in Ghana, as I've come, like he should be seen and not be heard. And I've drummed that out of the kids. I'm like, listen, I don't care if you're 15, if you're whatnot. You've got a voice. One of the biggest things you have is a voice. So I told them, like, especially when someone new comes into our academy, if you guys, one day, you guys will go down and visit them. Come up to that person. Doesn't matter if they're not there for you. You don't have to know them. Go up to them, shake their hand, look them in the eye, and introduce yourself. And let's go away. That's one of the things I learned my time at Peterborough. You know, Robbo, he was ex-army, and he was like, you know, whoever you meet, you can't really salute them, but go up to them, shake their hand, nice, firmly, look them in the eyes, and introduce yourself. So I go back now, you know, 3 months gone on. I meet Richard. Richard comes up to me, shakes my hand, goes, hello, Richard Opong, blah blah blah. You know, I'm thinking, whoa, like totally transformed. And then we were talking, and there's like a moped in Ghana, and they call it like a funny name. So I'm like, why do they call it that? Richard goes, hey, quiet, boss. I'll tell you why they give it, they call it the name, they call it like, you know, like Okada.
Yeah.
They have it. So Richard explained to me that, oh, it's because everyone in Ghana watches these Indian soap operas, and one of the main characters, that's their name. So people have just used the main character's name to give it a slang name for that moped. And I was like, wow, like you just educated me. And so right there and then I had a brand new pair of boots. I'm like, Richard, well done. Here you go. You just won yourself a pair of boots. And from that moment, like that, I'll send you guys the picture and you will see him. Ozzy, I'll forward it on to you. The smile on his face. So yeah, that being able to influence people in that manner and change them and let them realize that, you know, that there's power in your voice. You know, knowledge is power, all these cliches. It's, you know, money can't buy it. Literally, I'm so happy that's having been able to influence Richard to do that. It's worth the same as him signing a pro contract for Man United, because I think that life lesson will take on to wherever he ends up. So yeah,
for sure. As you said, he won't forget this. He won't forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great story. Great story from Richard.
I'm gonna send you the picture.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a great way to end. That's a great message to end on. And thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much
for your time, sir.
Yeah,
thank you for your time, sir. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, Rex. Appreciate you guys for having me on. I'm gonna leave you guys with my predictions for top 4, if that's all right.
Okay. By all means.
Yes, because I think you guys are gonna go on to talk about that. So Liverpool are gonna win the league. Man City are gonna come second. Tottenham and Arsenal.
I disagree.
United are not gonna make the top 4. We failed Eric Ten Hag because, and you know, I blame him as well. I don't think any manager should take that United job. I have a wish list of what I want. Unless you can concretely say you're going to sign those players, I'm not signing on that dotted paper. We should have done our business first, like Tottenham did. I think they are the winners in the transfer window. Done it early, strengthened where they needed to. Yeah, we didn't do that, and no matter, you know, he's not a magician. There's so much work by United, unfortunately, done. So yeah, those are my
predictions. Relegation? Yeah, what relegation?
Relegation.
It's not easy, that one, I feel.
Ooh, that's a real.
Yeah, I think it'll be tight this year. You
know? Everton will struggle again for sure. Even though they're about to sign a player that I highly rate. I saw him play 3 years ago in Mamadou Onana. What's a play?
It's not related to the Ajax goalkeeper, is he? They're not related to Andre.
No, yeah, he was. I saw him play in the second Bundesliga. 3 years ago, he made a move to Lille, and now I think he's moving from Lille to Everton. Great player, and he's again like African down to the core. Fantastic player. So Everton will struggle. Haven't really seen Bournemouth yet. Bournemouth might struggle just because small club, and Fulham are gonna flirt with relegation. They always do. You know, your club comes to the team.
They need to go away for good, honestly.
For sure, there's something about the Fulham. But
those are.
But the other team, I think Forest will do well. I'm feeling that they'll mid-table. They'll have a good spin. They'll surprise a few people.
They've got a fantastic young manager, really top
manager.
Yeah. From a coaching perspective, he's someone I look up to. He was one of the youngest people. I think he was the youngest to ever get his pro license. What's his name? Steve. Was it Cooper? What's his name?
Steve Cooper, yeah, and he's managed the under-17s, wasn't it? England under-17s. He knows a lot of the players in the league, how to get the best out of all these players.
Yeah, please.
For sure. They'll do well. I think they'll do maybe mid-table, like 13th, 14th, something like that.
Lingard gets a lot of steam. I don't understand it. He just being himself. Not everyone's the same. I think this journalism, here's one for you guys. When you guys become top journalists, as the years go by, really understand people from their perspective. Don't just sit back and just because everyone in your bubble, maybe just only drinks tea.
Yeah.
When you see someone, drinking something different, drinking green tea, doesn't make them a weirdo.
Yeah.
You understand them from their perspective, and I wish, Jay Links, I wish you well, man. Wherever you are, go show them that they are wrong.
Misunderstood. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about those memes, all those jokes about him years ago, where I think people would just start saying, "Oh, the 27-year-old prospect" and all that, just making fun of him. I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, youth prospect. Oh yeah, youth prospects.
I know those fake.
He's coming of age.
Yeah. All those fake quotes by Messi, saying, "Oh, if there was a cliff, if something along the lines of if there was a cliff and Ronaldinho, Zidane, and Lingard were hanging off, I'll put up Jesse, you know that." So just a sheer sarcasm, and
he's gonna have the last laugh. Watch, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
all right.
Because we started up in Nottingham. We've got an affiliation that we've loved it. You know, we lived in the city, so for the city as well, I want to see that they were Nottingham. Big on Nottingham. Big on Nottingham all the time. Big on Nottingham.
Yeah, big on Nottingham. Good city. It's a good city. Good place.
Lovely city. Very friendly student city. Lovely, friendly people. So
yeah.
Hope they do very well.
Yeah.
For sure. I think it'll be interesting to see who makes top 7. I think Europe is the rest of the. I think it will just be one of the best seasons. It's all built up for a really good season.
Don't jinx it.
You know, I just want to see, for United, I just want to see United win a trophy. I'm happy with a trophy in top, even if it's top 5, top 6, and you get Europa League, you win the trophy, you get back in the Champions League. That's a good season. It's progress. You need to take it step by step.
It's important that this is why I'm not a big fan of Bruno Fernandes. I think he just painted over the cracks there is. But the whole club needs a restructure. We need an identity.
Hopefully Ten Hag brings this. Yeah, hopefully Ten Hag brings identity. He brings this. That's what
it's going to take 3 years, mate. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to take 3 seasons to get it done.
Take a while. I like Ericsson. He's made good signings this season. I like Ericsson a lot. I think United should have got Ericsson a few years ago.
Short-term fix. Yeah, exactly. He's 30 again.
He should have got him when he was at before he went into Milan.
Yeah,
but
even before that, Spurs. Even before that, it was Ajax.
I'm just thinking the way he plays. It reminds me of Paul Scholes a bit. The way he plays, the way he's so effortless, the way he strolls across the pitch. Like gives everyone giving him time. He sees a pass there, he passes. It's like he's strolling this guy. It's effortless. He's graceful on this pitch. It's like you can tell he's got class. The class is there already. He's already had that.
Can I just say, and the team that have recruitment on absolute lock, Real Madrid, in terms of their recruitment, they just
of course, yeah.
You look at that great midfield three, how they've just as they're there, it's the passing over of the torch.
Yeah.
To Valverde, to now to Amani.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
Another level. Yeah, they're just another level. They're the biggest team in the world. So they're just another level.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah, but even the biggest team in the world is being innovative. It's thinking ahead and planning ahead. So don't just say the biggest team.
You have to stay ahead.
Give me a job as part of your recruitment team. I'm telling you, I watch enough pointless games that no one watches. I see so many players. I think you can go and scout. There's a boy, by the way. He just moved from Saint Etienne to Salzburg. He's an 18-year-old defensive midfielder. His name escapes me. I'll text it to you, Ozzy. Maybe you can. I think you should have a section in this podcast.
I'll give him a Google.
Give him a Google right now. He just moved from Saint Etienne to Salzburg, defensive midfielder.
Yeah,
he's going to be the next best defensive midfielder. You know, providing he doesn't get any injuries. I saw him for 25 minutes live in the stadium, and I'm like, what a player!
Which country is he from?
He's French, so he moved from Saint Etienne.
Okay, so he'll end up becoming one of France's best defensive midfielders of all time.
Yeah, 100%. Such a player.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll check him out. Yeah, I'll check him out.
I think it's important to kind of hearing you like say all these things, because it's always important to remember that these players start from somewhere as well. Like, you know, the Mendy, for instance, the Chelsea goalkeeper, he was seen as a failure earlier on, but obviously that changed. I think it's important to kind of remember that these athletes start from somewhere. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy road. So yeah, thank you for your time.
It's Lucas.
Yeah,
Una Du. He's 19 now. He's got a double barrel surname. I don't know how to pronounce his name. First name is Lucas.
Yeah,
Lucas, okay. I'll check out some videos, yeah. So I'm sure we'll be hearing of his name for years to come, for sure. You'll see him in the Premier League soon.
Yeah, on that plug, I'm going to love you and leave you guys.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you
so much for your time.
Rex, real pleasure.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Yeah. Take care.
It's over and out. Thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a pleasure to have you all with us for our very first episode. And we'll see you at the same time next week with another episode. Till next time. Peace.